And we're live. Good evening, phenomenal ones. I am, it's been a while since I've been with you, but before I go any further, I'm going to let Dean, our Dean of the School of the Morehouse School of Religion, bring you a very inspiring and critical message.
Hi, one more quick note on Eddie Glaude. Please go to Amazon.com and purchase his new book on James Baldwin. We would like to demonstrate that our community is...
I think somebody said they could not hear the share. So we want to share computer sound. There we go. All right, let's try it again. Sorry about that.
One more quick note on Eddie Glaude. Please go to Amazon.com.
Hi, one more quick note on Eddie Glaude. Please go to Amazon.com and purchase his new book on James Baldwin. We would like to demonstrate that our community is as concerned about the work that is done on our own heroines and heroes as much as anyone else is. And that is critical when publishers think about who we can write on and write about. So this is really a liberation project. Again, go to Amazon.com and type in James Baldwin and Dr. Eddie Glaude's name will come up. Let's see if we can help him sell 1,000 copies by the end of the week. It does matter. Again, go to the MorehouseSchoolOfReligion.org website and go there and make a contribution for our school during this time. www.MorehouseSchoolOfReligion.org. Every dollar counts when we are educating clergy, particularly in this time. I think we can all say that our liberation motifs make sense right about now, don't they? Because it's the closest to the narratives of the word of the Lord. All right, again, Dean of the Morehouse School of Religion, Joseph Evans, and may the Lord bless you today and keep you. And we look forward to hearing from you and viewing Dr. Eddie Glaude Facebook Live. All right? All right.
I'm going to play that one more time for those of you who are just joining us. This is a message from Dean Evans. Thank you for all of you who are on the Morehouse School of Religion page. If you are viewing this, please take a moment to share this everywhere. Share it with all of your friends. Looks like we're on Morehouse. We're on National Clergy Appreciation Month, and we are on Jeremiah Hackley Speaks. We are on a number of other pages. And I want you to see something. I'm literally downloading Dr. Glaude's book right now because we purchased it. The other one is on its way in the mail.
Hi, one more quick note on Eddie Glaude. Please go to Amazon.com and purchase his new book on James Baldwin. We would like to demonstrate that our community is as concerned about the work that is done on our own heroines and heroes as much as anyone else is. And that is critical when publishers think about who we can write on and write about. So this is really a liberation project. Again, go to Amazon.com and type in James Baldwin and Dr. Eddie Glaude's name will come up. Let's see if we can help him sell 1,000 copies by the end of the week. It does matter. Again, go to the MorehouseSchoolOfReligion.org website and go there and make a contribution for our school during this time. www.MorehouseSchoolOfReligion.org. Every dollar counts when we are educating clergy, particularly in this time. I think we can all say that our liberation motifs make sense right about now, don't they? Because it's the closest to the narratives of the word of the Lord. All right, again, Dean of the Morehouse School of Religion, Joseph Evans, and may the Lord bless you today and keep you. And we look forward to hearing from you and viewing Dr. Eddie Glaude Facebook Live. All right. All right. God bless.
God bless you tonight. I'm Jeremiah Hackley. It's good to be on. I haven't been on in a long time. We have taken the time over the last few weeks to spend time with my family and to, adjust our schedules to a new infant. Excuse our camera. We're kind of just getting recalibrated here. Been off for a while, but I hope that you are well in this COVID-19 situation, this justice situation that's going on all over the country. We have been following it, even though I have not been live with you in some time. I have been following the situations that are going on, and there is nothing better than this conversation, in my opinion, this conversation that is going on with two of our great luminaries, Dean Joseph Evans, Dr. Joseph Evans, PhD, the Liberation Project that he's beginning to present to us, and Dr. Eddie S. Glaude, Jr., who is the chair of the African American Studies Department at Princeton University. He is also the professor of religion. He is also a graduate of the Morehouse College. Dr. Glaude is a former SGA president in the AUC of Morehouse College. He is not just a great academic, but his approach to justice and his approach to things that are going on in our everyday life is what I would call responsible prophetically. The reason why I say it's responsible prophetically is because many prophets take the time to try to find a microphone or try to find a bullhorn or try to find a camera. But there are few prophets in our time, in our day, that take the time to find a pen and a piece of paper, or a pen and a computer, or a pen and some kind of pad, to not only speak what they are sensing and hearing and seeing is the interpretation of the divine for our generation, but for someone to take the time to not only to address the modern situation and the climate, but to reach back to the foundation of our justice prophets. A lot of us are filled with the Spirit, we say, but if you're filled with the Spirit and you're missing justice, there is something of the Spirit that you are missing. And but Dr. Glaude comes to us and he gives us a great review of Begin Again, James Baldwin's America and its urgent lessons for our own. And I want to challenge you, as Dean has. I have downloaded this book. Y'all excuse that camera. Let's try to get that light out of there. I have downloaded this book on my iPad. I have it coming to us in the mail. Let me see. I think somebody's trying to send me a notice. Make sure y'all can hear me here. Amen. Yes, and we have it coming in the mail. As I was saying, I thought that was a note about the broadcast, but we have aired for the first 3 nights the broadcast of Dr. Eddie Glaude, the first part or the first half, and tomorrow night we'll begin airing the second half. And the reason why we're airing it every day is because it seems to me that every day someone new begins to watch the broadcast, begins to comment on the broadcast. And some people say, let's not overwhelm the people with the same broadcast. But a lot of the times, we know that in the educational community that repetition is the best teacher, and we have to reiterate as we iterate, or as we give ourselves the space to make the impact. We have to go back and begin to dig. And so that's why we're airing it multiple times. In addition to that, I would also say that we're in a season and in a time where there is so much negative programming that's going on that we need to see and hear some solution-oriented stimuli, some things that we can pick up and support some people that are in position to make change. Dr. Eddie Glaude is at Princeton University. Princeton University is a institution that not only affects change in the sense of the students, but it is a somewhat of a thermostat sometimes for political situations. And so when people come out of Princeton, as Dr. Eddie Glaude has, and even Dr. Cornel West has, there is a very concerted effort with those in the community that listen and that engage at that level at Princeton and other schools of that nature, like Morehouse School of Religion. There are people that engage at that level so that they can pick up the temperature of what needs to be said, pick up the temperature of what they need to kind of bring and disseminate in the areas of community. And so the reason why I'm making it clear tonight and taking this time to be with you is because it has been not only an insightful broadcast, but for me personally, as a budding writer, as someone who is working on my writing skills, increasing my writing skills, it is something that you would pay attention to if you are interested in writing, if you are interested in justice writing in particular, if you're interested in religious or theological writing or spiritual writing of any conjecture or impact in any regard. Everything doesn't fit in the pulpit sermon. Everything doesn't fit in the midweek Bible study. Some things take time to unpack at home. It takes people time. And I always say that when men and women write books, they literally oftentimes have to bleed into the pen in order to write those books. There is what I want to call a responsibility to the personal revelation that they have encountered with the Creator, so that when they account for their gift, when they account for those thoughts and those thoughts that are divine, and then sometimes those thoughts that are just a healthy human thought, those things that we have to give to people to try to help them along that way, when they have to account for that, they can say that they have done their work, not just to God, but to the legacy of generations who will pick up that book. Who knows who will watch this broadcast? Who knows what child, what infant is going to grow up to watch this broadcast and get the idea of justice, or get some concept of how they need to approach their education, or get some concept of how they need to engage. Dean Evans offers us a grand opportunity to sow into the Morehouse School of Religion. And so he challenges us with two things. And I'm going to pick up that challenge tonight. I've already picked up the challenge with getting Dr. Glaude's book. He wants to make sure that we get 1,000 books sold this week. And so in this next 7 days, let's start today. In this next 7 days, let's get 1,000 books sold. Let's make sure that we support Dr. Glaude's work. And when you get this book in your hand, it's not just something that you read or you peruse for your own intellect, but it could very well be a weapon of change in your life. It could be the thought pattern where you're able to defend yourself better in justice situations. It could be the awareness that you need to take out into the street and companion with the work that you're already doing. It could be for you, Pastor, something that you can pick up and teach objectively in your spaces. And because I believe that Dr. Glaude, just as Dr. West are, they realize that they are not the only minds in the world, but there are divine minds that pick up their information and have their own context and the things that they see. And so I would say we are open to your picking it up as a weapon. Go 1,000 books. I got 2. So if 500 people do what I did, if 500 people get 2, then that's 1,000 books sold. You can get a physical copy. It's available on Amazon physically. It's also available on Amazon in the ebook form, which I have here, and it's also available on Amazon in Audible. And so you can get an audio book of this particular book. And so in closing, I want to again challenge you to not only get the book, but do the second part of the challenges. Take some time to go to the Morehouse School of Religion.org. Go to morehouseschoolofreligion.org and you'll find an option there to give. The information will be updated soon, but one thing that does work today is the giving option on the website. And what I will say is take the time, 10, 20, 30, 100, 100,000, who knows who's watching us tonight. If you believe in the impact of HBCUs, the HBCUs, not only in the what some call the secular community, also the HBCUs that are in the sacred community, which is really the foundation of those HBCUs that some consider to be secular. Really, before there were secular HBCUs, most of the institutions that were started for Black people were started for prophetic voices that were involved in justice, and we would call those those institutions theological institutions or sacred institutions. And so what I want to say tonight is that it is imperative for us to continue to support the sacred institutions like Morehouse School of Religion and the Interdenominational Theological Center, because when you support these kinds of institutions, you make sure that there are people that are not only committed to our economics, not only that are committed to our sociology, not only that are committed to our environment and the things that we engage in commerce and engage in society, but there are people who are still committed to the spirit and the soul and the health of the psyche on the regular basis. And those people who commit themselves to that deserve the same kind of support, because if we have our outward correct and we don't have our inward correct, we're still not there. I heard somebody say, one of my good friends, Pastor Leron Atkinson, I haven't seen him in a while. We got back together this week celebrating the life of our transition brother Bishop Stephan Smalls. But what he said is, how you gonna win? He called her Evangelist Lauren Hill. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? Sometimes we have to commit to institutions that raise up people to make sure that we are right within. And Morehouse School of Religion is a servant's seminary. A servant seminary, and these servants that come to this seminary are released to serving churches, and really serving in justice situations in the world. Some preachers are not becoming pastors these days. Some preachers are not going into pulpits to become a senior pastor. Some preachers are committing to a social justice ministry, which is really a part of the staple. The liberation motif is what we call it here at the Interdenominational Theological Center. And in that particular motif of liberation, it means that if you have a kingdom concept, it must be coupled with liberation. I would hate to be in a kingdom where Black and brown bodies are still enslaved, Black and brown minds are still undervalued and enslaved. And so whatever your message is, whether your message is faith, whether your message is baptism, whether your message is salvation, whatever your message is, carry that liberation motif. Because when the police pull over Black people and kill them, Black and brown bodies and kill them, and Latino bodies and kill them, they're not asking what church you come from. They're not asking what denomination you're a part of. They're not asking what you may be involved in. What they're actually asking is they're questioning your ability and your right to be free. And this sacred institution, Interdenominational Theological Center, Morehouse School of Religion.org, this sacred institution is committed to making sure that we have comrades of mine who are enrolled with me, together with me in this learning process, learning under great luminaries like our dean. We are committed to making sure that we come out swinging on your behalf, on the behalf of the people. The revolution is realized when sacred institutions are assisted and continue we continue to invest in those institutions for the duration, for the long run. And so I'm glad that you have taken the time. If you have not followed these pages, if you're new to these pages, you can follow Morehouse 1867. You can follow Morehouse School of Religion, Student Baptist Fellowship. You can follow National Clergy Appreciation Month at Appreciate Clergy. You can follow Jeremiah Hackley Speaks. You can follow JC Hackley Live. You can follow Pulpit Scholar if you want to follow Dean. You can find Dr. Eddie S. Glaude there. Is somewhere here on Facebook. I don't want to put this information out because I didn't ask his permission, but I will say this, that he has given us some grand information to dive into, to dissect, and to see where our intersections are. And so I am so glad that you've taken the time to hear me tonight. What I may do is just a tad bit later, I may take some time and come back, and we're going to begin to address some of these social issues that are going on. Thank you, family that's watching me. But I will say that I'm glad that you have come to spend this time with us tonight, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much. MorehouseSchoolOfReligion.org to support, and go to Amazon and get Begin Again, James Baldwin's America and its Urgent Lessons for Our Own. Begin Again, James Baldwin's America and its Urgent Lessons for Our Own. And I can't say how profound and prophetic James Baldwin is. Some of you have watched the movie, I Am Not Your Negro. Well, it's one thing to watch a movie for an hour. It's another thing to get in the 250 some odd pages that are here that you can unravel and unpack for yourself. All right, y'all have a great night. It's been great being with you, and we will talk with you soon.